what's up, guys? Oh. Sorry, I got a message the second I signed on. All right, guys, here we are for show 2. It's Monday morning. Some of you are on the way to work. Some of you are not. Let's see if I can't make you fall asleep while driving. All right, this is the pirate software situation. I don't know a lot about it because it hasn't really interested me. It's just, more online YouTube drama. And then I heard how much this guy was crashing out and why he's taking such a strong stance against an issue that is pretty much consumer versus corporation. There was something called Stop Killing Games. I can't remember who brought it about, but it was basically saying that if you pay for a game, especially the online multiplayer games, and they can just kill it if it's not doing very well. So this guy is pretty much the only person on the internet that's not in one of these corporations that's taking a very strong stance against Stop Killing Games. And yeah, he's just been spiraling out of control. I haven't been too interested in the story, but I've heard this week he's been pretty spicy. So let's see how it goes, and let's see what Nux and my take are on it.
I have exclusive information that things might be so...
That being said, I promise not every show I do is going to be me watching and reacting to a Nux video on a topic. This is just... They pop out at me, and I noticed it first thing this morning. I had a whole other show lined up, and then I saw this, and it caught me... and pretty much caught my attention. So here we go.
So much worse for pirate software. So a lot of you don't know what's going on in the behind the scenes streamer world because a lot of you guys don't have YouTube channels that are being targeted by YouTube for potentially promoting something dangerous. Now this is pirate software over here, and animation made by Meat Canyon. As you can see, this video is age restricted. It's not super new for Meat Canyon. A lot of his videos get age restricted. This is not a big deal. But what if I told you that every person that reacted to this Meat Canyon video about pirate software got their video removed by YouTube? And the only reason why Pirate Software's video managed to survive and remain up on YouTube is because it has some sort of artistic argument that it's art and therefore not necessarily bannable. Now, there is one scene in particular in this video that YouTube has been going around destroying, and he blurred it out. If you want to go watch the original, it is blurred out at around the 30-second mark. It's this hilarious meme about how Pirate Software, who always claims to know everything, he's explaining to women about how they are breastfeeding wrong, and then he shows them by sucking his own nipple. Apparently that is considered sexual content, and therefore that is why all these videos have been getting taken down. It's specifically for that little few second clip of Pirate Software sucking his own nipple. My reaction to this obviously also got taken down by YouTube, and so has a lot of people. A lot of people messaged me about it. YouTube's been on a warpath. Now, I want to make this clear. I have never in my life, as a content creator...
I mean, it is crazy that YouTube is not only lightening up on some of their rules. Allegedly, you're allowed to say the fuck word when you first start a video within the first, 10, 30 seconds, something like that. But they're cracking down on other things. YouTube's always been very volatile.
Creator ever seen YouTube do this? Never. Now, there are a lot of instances where YouTube goes around and takes videos down, says some certain videos are not, applicable to be around on YouTube. But I have never seen YouTube go on such a warpath on a specific few second clip. Now, I'm not saying that Pirate Software is a second generation Blizzard employee that worked at Blizzard for 23 years or anything that might have anything to do with it. I'm not saying that's the case, but I am saying I've never seen it before, and this is really weird. I'm just asking questions. Now, Internet Anarchist just made a video called The Satisfying End of Pirate Software. He just released this video within the last 24 hours, so we're diving into it today because things got so much worse for my man. I do believe he is in bed with the most nefarious tactics ever to take out his critics, and I do believe he is sitting there not so patiently waiting for everyone to fall apart. We know that he has this malicious streak. People tried to help consumers, and out there, Mr. Pirate Software removed the nipple from his mouth to say, I hope your project fails and dies, because he's obviously a corporate plant, in my opinion, and he should not be trusted with anything. He also has been exposed as a fraud for multiple reasons. He is so mega fucking giga cooked, it's crazy. And I'll have you know, every time I talk about Pirate Software from this moment going forward, I vow that if I remember, I will be referencing him sucking his own nipples, because I do believe personally, he is involved with convincing YouTube that those few seconds are somehow sexual content. So YouTube went around and deleted everyone's reaction to that Meat Canyon video. That's my belief. I have no evidence for it other than this is really fucking weird, and I've been doing YouTube for a long time. So lock in, boys and girl. Let's enjoy the satisfying end of the most egotistical freak on all of YouTube.
Pirate software is what happens when you give someone with a massive ego a microphone and an audience. Not only does he have...
Dude, it's so funny because, like, as a shorts creator, right, he blew up, you get through YouTube Shorts. Like, he would never have survived without YouTube Shorts. Because imagine watching this guy, like, for hours on end.
I don't know,
like, imagine watching long-form videos of this smug ass just being wrong. Now, he could hide his power level. He could hide his retard power level by making YouTube Shorts and being, like, super intelligent for, like, 10 seconds. But there's no fucking way this dude could survive with long-form videos. One of his first ever long-form commentary videos was saying that the Stop Killing Games movement was bad. And it ended his career. It ended his career. Holy shit. Wait, actually, I have to go look at his Twitch stats right now. Twitch just recently removed everyone's bots. Pirate software. I'm just curious what his actual... His last stream he got 1,000 viewers. There's no way. All right, so for those of you that are unaware, this was him before the drama. All right, this was him at the peak before the drama. He was getting 15,000 live viewers a stream. After the drama, it was cut in a third, and he's been getting around 4,000 to 5,000 live viewers in a stream. They deleted bots here, and he got 3,000 and then 1,000. So that means of his remaining 5,000 live viewers, seemingly half of them were also bots. I don't think we've ever seen a downfall quite this horrible.
Right here,
like, this is insane.
Pretty troubling.
Oh shit. He loses 200 viewers an hour. Like 200 followers an hour.
Because it was the most linear game.
Insanity. Anyway, this is just me gloating over the downfall of a retard.
Have some of the worst takes the online gaming community has ever seen.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
And that's where it all went wrong. What an egotistical freak. I'm going to tell people to destroy this thing that you are literally doing to help people. I'm going to tell people to destroy your movement. Bro, this guy literally fucking destroyed himself in the most hilarious way ever.
Yeah.
Also seems deathly allergic to taking accountability.
Wants me to sit down.
I'm all for having against the grain opinions. Most of my opinions are against the grain within reason. But this is literally Cat Williams walking into the club and saying, fuck everybody in the club. And then walking out, wait for it.
Grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage.
Even Dr. K...
They want me to grovel on my feet and take accountability for my mistake. What fools, buffoons. I will never take accountability for my mistakes.
A professional psychiatrist failed to make him realize his own arrogance.
I think sometimes to think about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on
ever.
Like, tell me I'm wrong.
I don't see it that way.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way, says the arrogant man. Yeah. No.
And the moment the internet saw his true colors, it was all downhill from there. Yeah. Even then, the one thing he still had going for him was his technical prowess as an expert game developer.
The one thing he had going for him was this thing that he literally tried to trick the audience of the world into thinking that he actually had.
And an elite hacker.
Elite hacker? There's no way did he actually call himself an elite hacker? I mean, this dude's too busy having sex with ferrets or whatever he does on his free time, allegedly, in my opinion. That was not an allegation. That was a joke. Don't sue me, Pirate Software, because he's been going on like a spree, like copywriting people, trying his best. In my opinion, the lawsuit phase is coming soon. You could mark my words. This dude does not like being made fun of at all. To the point that I think, arguably, out of all, like, dude, Meat Canyon made videos making fun of everybody, okay? He made those animations making fun of literally everyone. Logan Paul and Sneeko and Andrew Tate. None of them sued him. None of them complained to YouTube. And I think that his Pirate Software one was basically one of his more tame ones. But there
it really was. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm because I don't care really. But the Sneeko one was pretty... And Sneeko's at least smart enough to know that he shouldn't do anything back because it'll be like 1,000 times worse for him. because him speaking out on how people are talking about him is literally the worst thing. Sneeko, I don't know if you're aware of him. He's one of the Manosphere dorks, but he's one that says like going down on your girlfriend is gay. Like what? Like what? Anyway, but look, check out the Meat Canyon video on Sneeko and was it Penguins? What's Penguin Zero's handle? Anyway,
There was a clip of him sucking his own nipple, and now YouTube goes around and takes down everyone's, including mine. All right, this is how I know about it. Is because mine got taken down by YouTube. So like, you know, like we know what's happening. We're not all retarded, okay?
It was a lot. So after that, I ended up going to work for the United States Department of Energy because I'm a hacker, offensive security guy, and
I'm an offensive security hacker, says Ferret Fucker 42069. That was a joke. Obviously, I don't know how many times he's fucked ferrets.
hacked power plants for the federal government. And now that I quit, and now I make video games on the internet.
Hacks power plants? Oh, dog, there's no way this is true. First, second generation Blizzard employee over here. Oh my god.
I've been doing this for a couple.
So I used to work at Blizzard, making believe I coded video games, and the government hired me to take down Al Qaeda, and I turned that down because obviously I wanted to have sex with ferrets instead.
Well,
That was a joke. Obviously, I don't think that there's any evidence he's had sex with ferrets.
as it turns out, much of what he claimed might have either been a flat-out lie or, at best, an over-the-top exaggeration.
When Pirate Software told everyone that
Yo, this is his magnum opus, the game he's been working on allegedly for years. Now, a lot of people think that that they should hate him because he has a big ego. I don't think so. I don't actually think that you should dislike Pirate Software for his ego. I think it should be a lesson to you. All right, a lesson to you that ego will destroy you if left unchecked. I don't think you should hate him for his ego. I do think it is valid to dislike him because he might have scammed his audience with raising tens of thousands of dollars for a video game that he never fucking released. Maybe that. I think that's probably the worst thing he's done. Like I know, like he goes for legally, allegedly copyright striking game developers that make fun of him, working to try to get videos taken down on YouTube potentially. You know, like throwing shit around, getting into like beef. You know, not taking accountability. Like these are character flaws, but allegedly scamming people, I don't know. I feel like that's just a whole other level.
he worked
Like, I'd like him infinitely more if he just decided to say the N-word. This is a fact. This is a true fact. Like, if he decided, you know what? Fuck it. I am an asshole and just rips the N-word, I would be like, you know what? I respect you for it. I would. True. This is a true Nux fact. Definitely subscribe for more true Nux facts. And you know what? I could bet you that my audience, I could bet you that the majority of people would agree with me. That you would respect him more if he just said, you know what, I am the asshole, and then rips one. In my opinion, that would redeem you. You should do it.
on video games for 20 years, that he worked as a hacker.
100%. I do it all the time. No one cares. But I have respect for it.
Why did anyone believe him when this was what he was putting out? Why did it take this long for people to call him out for being a fraud?
This, by the way, this was the demo version of the game that he was allegedly working on. The Chase Chicken Simulator.
When this is his magnum opus that took him
And it's all furry shit.
8 years. 8 years of perfecting your craft for something a middle schooler could make. This isn't the work of a professional. This isn't even the work of an amateur.
See, when I see this, you know the first thing that comes to my mind? This gameplay? The first thing that comes to my mind is how could we immediately grab this guy to offensively hack power plants for the US government?
It's pathetic.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're revisiting.
Hi, I'm Nuxanor. I slop around, but I'm very funny and a little bit offensive. Also slightly racist, but not like too racist. Just the right amount of racist. Definitely subscribe to me also.
The man who's currently going through one of the most spectacular downfalls in YouTube history,
It's good.
Pirate Software.
I'm enjoying it.
How everything is
This
built.
is cinema. It really is. Like, if I would argue that, like, the actual Nuxanor canon is, like, political events and, like, world-changing stuff, this is absolutely filler, but it is, like, the best filler arc of all time.
Built over the years is unraveling right in front of his eyes, and it's only getting worse with each passing day. Since, while being supremely arrogant is bad enough, Pirate Software might even get in legal trouble for defrauding his audience.
That's That's what I'm saying, man. I think it's so much worse. I think it's so much worse.
Now, I've already made a video going over the major controversy that initiated his downfall, but if you haven't watched that video yet or need a refresher, here's a quick recap to get you up to speed. Pirate Software, aka Jason Thor Hall, is an ex-Blizzard employee who, after allegedly working for the US government as a
I call cap on that one, brother.
hacker for a bit, decided to develop his own video game in 2017 called Heartbound. He also started streaming his game progress on Twitch and uploading
Allegedly. He never actually did game progress on Twitch, as far as I'm aware.
clips from those streams on YouTube Shorts.
Like, does this look like game progress to you? It doesn't, because it's not. He didn't do game, like, he claimed that he needed to stream his game progress to make the game that people paid him for, but he didn't do that. He literally just became a regular streamer guy. Nothing wrong with that, but you literally owe them a product. See, in my opinion, commitment means something, all right? And especially, first, even if no one gives you money, right? Even if no one gives you money, your word matters, okay? And I think you're a lying sack of shit fraud. All right, that's what I have to say, all right? I'm going to get my offensive hacker buddies to hack you, okay? They're busy diddling ferrets right now, but when they're done, they're coming for you, brother. But that's one. Your word matters, and you are a liar. That's one. Two, and in my opinion, much worse, they paid for it. They paid for it, dude.
These shorts blew up big time, allowing him to gain millions of new subscribers on YouTube, over 80,000 paid subs on Twitch, and even break the Twitch hype train record 4 different times.
Which allegedly he got his moderators to he paid for his own Twitch record, allegedly.
But then 2025 rolled around, and Thor managed to destroy the goodwill the internet once had for him. First, by causing his friends to lose months of progress in a hardcore World of Warcraft game and refusing to take accountability.
Just wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage.
And then by taking a stance against the Stop Killing Games initiative, which would stop game publishers from killing games people had already paid for.
Yeah, literally, how do you take that side of the fight? Like, he literally just, he was like, no, leave my multi-billion corporation alone. They give me an endless supply of breast milk, which is very important as someone that sucks nipples professionally.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
He misunderstood the whole movement on a fundamental level, and then used some of the harshest language he's ever used to speak up against it.
That is a horrible goddamn direction.
Eat my entire ass.
That's awful, dude. No. Eat my entire ass.
I love that line. I love that line. I use it all the time now. I use it all the time. Eat my entire ass.
Level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours.
Yo, it's like an enema of stupid. Just shoved up your entire ass.
This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly stupid ass move.
Yeah.
I think this is ass.
Yeah.
This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask entirely.
Yeah, there was no mask. But
I have
more importantly,
no qualms about that.
Yeah, I have no qualms either, actually. I'm really glad we're together in qualmlessness. I mean, unless he's a corporate plant, there's no fucking way he would actually be this vehemently against a movement that just wants people to own what they buy. Like, dog, you are literally fighting for people to own what they buy. Fighting against people to own what they buy. Yeah, imagine going to a store and purchasing something, and 2 years later, the person who sold it to you decides, you know what? I'm taking it back for free, for no money. Just don't want you to have it anymore. Like, that's insane. You are fighting on that side.
They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing.
His viewers were shocked at him blatantly rejecting something they thought was good. Thor, on
something objectively good.
the other hand, continued posting more videos doubling down on his take. But then, some of the biggest creators on the platform, like Charlie, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie, voiced their support for the initiative.
He got obliterated.
This only made Thor look worse by comparison, making the whole internet, including his audience, turn against him. Now, Thor had a chance to retain some of the trust his viewers had in him, despite the...
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan of PewDiePie until he started being more controversial. Not his little Freudian slips, what have you, but some of the content he put out towards the end of his, like right after there's a big push to get him over this company that was nipping his heels.
Overwhelming amount of backlash he was receiving. All he had to do was admit that he was wrong. But not only did he not do that, he...
Hilarious. Bro,
He stuck to his guns, regardless of how wrong he was. He was caught lying about his games getting review bombed because of the controversy, making him look even more pathetic than—
Yeah, he's like, oh, I have to step away from this project that I'm working on because people are review bombing the games that I work with because of the harassment campaign. And then people looked and no one was review bombing any of those games. He literally just fucking made that up. He literally made that up. Bro, his main character syndrome tied in with fetal alcohol syndrome. Like, maybe that's why he has, like, this whole nipple sucking thing.
he already did. Now, at the end of my last video, I posed two possible futures for Thor. He could either admit that he was wrong and turn things around, or stay stubborn and turn into the perpetual lolcow of the internet.
Baby.
And from the looks of it, he's chosen the second option, which has not only earned him more hate, but has prompted people to take a deeper look into his life, starting with his reputation as a master coder. And what they found was shocking to say the least.
Alright.
It started when a YouTuber named Coding Jesus, whose main content is him dissecting people's code and pointing out issues, decided to review the code for Heartbound in a video titled, "I Reviewed Pirate Software's Code, oh boy." And as you might be able to judge from the title, he didn't really have any good things to say about it, with him even going as far as to declare Thor's code to be worse than most entry-level interns.
Imagine.
But how is that even possible? How is that even possible? I thought he was the first ever second generation Blizzard employee that worked at Blizzard for 23 years and then was a hacker for the US government to hack offensively power plants. How could he be bad at coding when he has such a stellar resume that he has no evidence that actually happened, but he says it happened, and why would we not believe him?
Here, but it's very...
Removing all these comments, would you, as a newly added game developer to his game project, have any idea that one is Shelly? You would have no idea. This would never ever be allowed in a production repository, and I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect of a bottom tier intern.
I mean, my opinion is, and I said this in my original review of his code when we looked into it back like a few weeks ago, was that Pirate Software was too busy with his own nipples in his mouth and didn't actually decide to code, and he just put it into ChatGPT and they just slopped some slorp out for him. That was my analysis, obviously. How will I know the nipple thing? Obviously the nipple thing is obvious. Like, he obviously has some sort of aversion to sucking on his own teats, right? I mean, obviously this is a thing for him.
Thor, however, didn't appreciate the constructive criticism and handled this review in the only way he knows how to.
It's just another like YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance.
That's
dude.
right.
That's all that shit is.
Look at all these grifters fighting for relevance while you're losing all of yours. Damn.
All too common these days.
However, there was something Thor said that was
He wasn't even a dev, he was a game tester.
Just be spawning different monsters and testing their affixes to see how they perform. But he would just kind of create a character and
a hole in your heart in the shape of your dad.
why he kept doing the same
YouTube grifter trying to fight for relevance.
That's
dude.
right.
That's all that shit is.
Look at all these grifters fighting for relevance while you're losing all of yours. Damn.
All too common these days.
However, there was something Thor said that was uncharacteristically reasonable for him and actually made some sense.
It's just a bunch of disingenuous arguments put up in bad faith trying to make me look like a bad programmer. And in reality, this guy has never used the engine that I'm working in, never used the language that I'm working with, and all of his points are moot as a result.
Yeah, that didn't hold up. There was a response to that. Yeah, that's not a good point at all.
From an objective point of view, his reasoning here for why Coding Jesus wasn't able to understand his coding style because he's not a game developer seemed sound.
Yeah,
that was
except it's
until
not.
another YouTuber, Quinn Theo, decided to get Coding Jesus on a call and dissect Thor's arguments together.
See, and that might have passed if he wasn't in the gaming sphere, because most of the people that watch you are in the gaming sphere, and some of them are coders. And yeah, it might get you for a little bit, but I mean, this guy's got almost 100,000 subscribers, so someone's going to see this, and then someone big's going to see this, and then it just snowballs.
They began by analyzing Thor's comments about Coding Jesus' very first critique, with Coding Jesus explaining how Thor doesn't use a very basic practice in his code that even school-level coders know how to use.
Manually setting all to 0 with 8 lines, those were set to 0 because it was ending the alarms. By setting them to 0, you're actually setting the alarm to off.
So what he's doing here is a classic example of deflection. He pretends the chatter asked, "Why do you set the alarms to 0?" instead of the question, which was, "Why don't you iterate over them in a for loop?" A for loop is a very basic coding construct. If you're iterating through a
I know
consecutive...
basically nothing about coding, but even I got the for loops. That's sad.
set of numbers, you definitely want to use that. It's the perfect scenario for a for loop.
While also pointing out how he deflects from the real question whenever he doesn't know the answer.
But he pretends that he didn't understand the question and then tries to answer something else.
And in case you're not familiar
Classic politician, am I right, guys?
with programming, a commenter summed up Thor's flawed approach perfectly, stating, "He is literally doing the equivalent of writing 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 instead of writing 2 times 25. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, because while someone might argue that he simply misunderstood the criticism instead of purposefully deflecting it, that doesn't explain why he kept doing the same thing over and over again.
Sprite Spark is not a magic number. It's a direct reference to an asset file called Sprite Spark. This is how GameMaker allows you to link sprites and other assets. When you want to use a sprite, sound, or other object, you call it by name.
This is disingenuous at best and an obfuscation tactic at worst, because
Hot take? Hot take? He's a lying, manipulating fraud. Never trust him ever. All right. My mom taught me this when I was a kid. All right. Let me tell you what my mom taught me. All right. When I was like 5, okay, I would lie. All right. My mom would ask, "Did you do your homework or something?" Okay, not 5, but whatever it was, I would say, "Yeah, I did my homework," when I didn't, or I would lie about something, kind of minor. All right. Did you eat the cookie? No, I didn't eat the cookie. Then it turns out I ate the cookie. My mom would say, "You lied to me. And I can never ever trust your word again because you lied. And you are someone that breaks your word. And because you are someone that breaks your word, nothing that you ever say can be trusted because you're someone that is known to break your word." I felt so shit. I never lied again. Okay, I probably did at some point. But I never, I tried my best not to lie, ever. And you can go back through my history of YouTube. For 10 years, I don't think you can catch me in a single lie. I'm very, very careful about it. I really am. And honestly, it's insane. It is absolutely insane
I will agree.
to see that...
misinformed. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but like I said, people get their information from different places, and different places at the very least, they take little bits of the truth and run with it and leave out the rest. Lies by omission. But at worst, they purposefully just go against anything that they dislike, whether it be Trump, whether it be the other side, and just go with it. Everything that thing or person does is evil and wrong, and I'm going to speak out against it, even if they're doing things that I know I should like, but don't.
How obvious it is that he lies. And so I'll use my mom logic. For obviously, he never had a parent in his life that told him that. But you are a liar. You lie a lot about a lot of things. I can never trust you. Normally, I give the benefit of the doubt. When it could be either he was disingenuous or he was either he was malicious or he made a mistake. Normally, I hedge on the side that he probably made a mistake. I just tend to do that. I try to be good faith as much as I can. But when you are a liar, why would I ever think that you're not just being disingenuous here?
as you can see here, there's a lot of numbers here. It's very obvious when I'm talking about a magic number. I'm talking about things like 1, 0, 15, 270, 360. I'm not talking about what my mouse just happens to be highlighting, which is SPR Spark.
Almost as if it's a core part of the tactic he uses to sound more knowledgeable than he actually is.
He has this repeating theme where somebody gives him a question, and then he pivots to something that somebody didn't even ask or address to try to get out of.
Politics style. Trump, why didn't you release the Epstein files? Are we still talking about Epstein? Are we still talking about Epstein? There's literally so many more things happening right now. But Mr. President, what about the Epstein files? Epstein, I don't even remember who he is. Yeah, all right, dude.
That question.
Something that becomes abruptly clear when he does address criticism directly and ends up being objectively wrong about everything he's saying.
Data types are not defined in GameMaker. You cannot define a Boolean. You can use 0, 1, or true, false at will. It doesn't do anything. None of this matters in this language.
The Boolean and the data types.
Okay.
So I'd like to interpret this in two ways, because what he could have been saying here when he says data types are not defined is that you can't create your own custom data types, which is indeed wrong. You can create structures in GameMaker. It's in the documentation, search up structs and constructors. But maybe he wasn't referring to structs. Maybe he was referring to Booleans, which also just isn't true.
What's worse is that he could have easily avoided looking like a fool. All he had to do was
take the L, but he can't. He literally can't. He is physiologically incapable of taking the L. That's what happened when you have a a hole in your heart in the shape of your dad.
Again, I appreciate
bro,
everyone
it's
who wants to up
absolutely
my numbers,
diabolical.
but
It
I'd
is
rather grow
diabolical
naturally at
watching
this
this
point.
fucking shit fall.
And,
Like,
see
it's
where it goes.
crazy watching a video like this and seeing it all up close. How obvious. He could have gotten away with everything. He could have literally fucking scammed it.
That's what I'm saying. If people actually want to watch me, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. I understand that I could probably grow more if more people saw, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. So I want to grow. I want to figure out ways to get better content and all that. I don't just want people to come see me because a bunch of people sent them to my channel and they could, or made a bunch of bots follow my channel or anything like that. I don't have a lot of integrity, but at the very least, I would much rather know that everyone here is here because they want to be, not because they were made or they aren't real people. But I very much appreciate the offer, though. Seriously, I don't mean to sound like I don't appreciate it.
His fans and fucked his ferrets
Unless you're spam.
in private. He could have sucked both of his nipples at the same time, and no one would have made fun of him for it
people can do that.
if he could
I've
just,
seen it.
you know, take accountability. This is completely self-inflicted in
Someone
every
used them like
possible
a
way. And honestly, it is absolutely hilarious. I love when retards do this. It's my favorite thing about retards. They can't stop themselves from admitting to shit. Listen, man, my last video was about how Destiny basically admitted that he had child porn on his computer. Allegedly, alleged child porn. All right, she might have been 19, even though she was almost 100% 17. Dude, he admitted it, bro. He admitted it. If you would just shut the hell up, dude. If you just wouldn't volunteer information, none of this would happen. That's why Nuck's doctrine is Operation Let Them Speak. Nuck's doctrine is do nothing, win.
You read about the programming language he claims to be an expert at.
He makes the claim that you can't define a Boolean in GameMaker because GameMaker itself doesn't have a native Boolean type in its scripting language. In other words, it interprets reals as Booleans. Now, to reconcile the fact that he used a Boolean in his code with what he said, I decided to do what any developer would do, and that is I consulted the documentation. So if you go to data types in GameMaker,
Right.
oh, look at that. You are also provided with constants, true and false, which can always be used in your code to prevent any issues, should the native Boolean type be defined later.
This can
So you mean to tell me that pirate Thor Jason Software Hall was hired by the U.S. government to offensively hack power plants when he doesn't know the basic shit of what he's talking about in a field that he actually is a pro in? Now that seems mighty suspicious. Yup, I'd suck on my nipples if I was you.
can either be interpreted as Thor being incredibly lazy or just simply not knowing Booleans exist in the language he's using. Either way, it calls into question every claim Thor has ever made about his coding skills to this.
Yeah, because if you're caught as a liar, people will now start assuming that you were lying about other things. It's honestly pretty basic human shit. And you have failed miserably at being a human right now. It's all that nipple sucking. It got to your head, bro.
Point. As a comment on YouTube eloquently puts it, someone please...
Chat, by the way, to make this clear, to everyone watching this video, never forget that all these Meat Canyon reaction videos suspiciously got taken down at the same time by YouTube for him sucking his own nipple, okay? Which is a fucking nothing, all right? In my opinion. Let it be remembered. Let that nipple sucking not be forgotten into the annals of YouTube history.
take the shovel away from Pirate Software. This man won't stop digging a hole for himself.
These people are literally... I feel like every time I go on the internet and I see commenters like trying, you know, in their best faith, say, no, stop exposing yourself. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I am a big fan of people exposing themselves. Yeah, no, keep shoveling, brother. I will give you a second nipple to suck on, Mr. Pirate Software.
But what's most concerning is Thor's inability to take any kind of criticism, even when it's valid. He's set up a wall of denial in front of him and just disregards anyone that doesn't agree with him. That said, this next issue isn't something he can simply ignore, since he...
to people, 100%. I'm sorry I keep pausing, but you have to be willing to listen to people. Especially if there's people who are legit trying to be like, dude, think about this. Like when he first started, he very clearly misunderstood the argument. Like I've seen clips of it and that face and like it, he just keeps doubling down. People keep doubling down these days because they can't stand the thought of being wrong. You're wrong regardless. You just need to admit it and people will at the very least leave you alone maybe even get some respect back for you.
Might even end up in court because of it. The bombshell
This is the fucking video game shit.
dropped on July 5th,
Please.
2025, when a Twitter user by the name of Guy made a wild accusation against Thor, stating Pirate Software accidentally revealed his DMs with Kronos.
This. Okay, I thought it was talking about raising money for a video game that he never fucking released, which I think is such a big deal. But yeah, this is crazy also.
In the April 1st Twitch Giga Train, showing that they were boosting it to themselves. This is why the stream is unavailable to watch. The Giga Train he's talking about here is actually the record-breaking Twitch hype train Thor was able to reach on April 1st, 2024. A hype train, for those who don't know, is a Twitch feature that gets activated when a streamer starts receiving a lot of donations or gifted subs in a very short span of time. It then continues leveling up if the donations keep coming in, and the more a hype train progresses, the more rewards the donors unlock, including special emojis and gifts that they can use.
It
Incentivize.
just basically incentivizes people to donate money, which is, you know, obviously that's the fucking money-making metric. Nothing wrong with that. But if he allegedly inflated the hype train, just like he likes inflating porn of ferrets, I have a whole fucking stash of like random insults for Pirate Software.
Them to keep spending their money. As we mentioned earlier, Thor had already broken multiple hype train records.
50,000 live viewers. Look at that. How the mighty have fallen. Now he's streaming to 1,300 people right now. Holy fucking shit.
Before, however, all of them paled in comparison to the hype train on April 1st, 2024, as it managed to reach past level 100.
The irony that it was April Fool's Day that he broke the hype train record.
5. This was a big milestone in Thor's career. It made headlines and turned Thor into an even bigger name in the online gaming community. However, if what Guy was alleging on Twitter was true, it meant that this record wasn't as legitimate as it seemed.
Dude, do you think he, like, after that stream ended and he knew that he donated to himself to artificially inflate the numbers allegedly, do you think he, like, he gave himself, like, a nice big nipple suck where he just kind of went crazy over it? Like, do we think that he... I feel like I'm hitting a sensitive spot. I'm hitting him right in the nipple with this one, I feel like.
And the proof he presented was in the screenshot.
I'm a petty motherfucker, by the way, okay? I'm a very petty motherfucker, okay? You took down my fucking video for this shit? Really?
Of the conversation Thor had with his head mod Kronos while his hype train was active. Let me know if you do. Bits is going to be the best way to do it due to the return if you need to save it. This
is basically telling his moderator, I'll pay you back, allegedly.
I'm basically going to have this be my ticker from CNN, but this, I follow a lot of left and right sources, but this, anyone who firebombed a Tesla dealership, that Elon Musk didn't really have anything to do with it except for receiving his share of the profits, is retarded. I'm sorry. Especially this guy. This guy's probably from an upper middle class or upper class family who's very bored using daddy's money to travel all over the country like most protesters these days do. They're fair weather protesters. They're all big losers. I'm all for protesting, but I hate... Like, I used to show up to protest back in the day, and you see some people get arrested. Everyone who's from money gets off scot-free, and only the poor people, either they're just poor and wanted to be a part of the movement, or they're poor and are the people that the movement's about. They're the ones that get hurt. They're the ones that get arrested. And fuckers like this get off scot-free. And I'm so glad that that's not happening anymore because they came more extreme, and there's no way, without everyone having a camera nowadays, there's no way that fuckers like this get away with it anymore. And I'm so happy about it.
Anyway, artificially inflate my hype train.
Other than T3 subs, Tier 3 subs might be better, don't know. Bits is 82% return when you buy them in bulk. Have you bought any yet?
Right, because Twitch takes the rest.
I've done 100 Tier 1 subs on my...
I love Elon Musk or hate him. I don't care. But shit like this... hurting people and people's livelihood that don't, other than them sending him a percentage of their thing, is ridiculous.
Personal, ready to do 40 Tier 3 subs on an ult. Can do bits instead or both. Did 50,000 bits at 20 seconds left. Okay, what is the ult account? Serendipitous Bean. Put simply, this seemed like Thor telling his own mod to donate from an ult account.
And implying that he's paying him back, right? Because he's looking at the return, right? So it definitely does look like he is telling his moderator to donate from the mod's real account and alt account so that you won't notice that it's the same guy that's donating a fuck ton of money to artificially inflate a hype train campaign to convince more people to donate to him and to win a world record through fraud. That's kind of what it looks like, right?
To artificially keep the hype train going, and even telling him to use bits since Twitch would only take an 18% cut from them. Now, it was still possible that some important missing context could give this conversation a completely different meaning. Unfortunately for Thor, someone uncovered the deleted Twitch VOD this screenshot was taken from, and Thor's reaction to it told his viewers everything they needed to know.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make...
What?
No! He releases his own messages. Operation Let Him Speak. Dude, you don't understand. All the criticism against Thor is literally shit that he has accidentally said or leaked. Like, that is literally all of it.
What? What is
And he
this?
quickly clicks off to a random message. Right, to a random nothing message.
Where is it? I'm gonna find this. I need to find your message.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it,
Awkward.
click,
Oh, God, he's so nervous.
Bridge machine.
Uh-oh.
What? Who are you? Why are you like this? Number 420. Deleted.
Not only does it prove that the screenshot is real, viewers could also see how panicked Thor became when he saw it, and how he immediately switched to a different chat before actually finding and deleting the text-to-speech donation that came in. Thor tried to deny any wrongdoing on Twitter, stating, Kronos used his own money to do this and asked if it was okay to do so.
This is such obvious bullshit. Mr. Streamer, sir, do I have your permission to give you money? Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
He wasn't paid for this or told to do it
get
either.
out
He's a
here.
grown man and
Now,
can spend his
please.
money in whatever way he chooses.
Yeah,
You can hate me all you like.
Dude, I literally don't believe this for a second. And once again, confirmed liar is going to tell you something that's hard to believe. Like, yeah. When a liar tells you something that's hard to believe, I'm just not going to believe you.
But going after my staff is shit tier behavior. Even Kronos, his head moderator, came out with statements of his own denying the allegations, reading, said this before in January during the World of Warcraft drama. People contacted me and others about donating during the Hype Train record in 2024. This year, I did less from the main and I did some from an alt. Removal of the VOD was, if I recall correctly, to prevent people from harassing donators as before. And while
Get the fuck out of here. Like, come on, dude. Does anyone take this shit seriously? Like, why would you believe this shit? Even for a second. Like, it's so obviously lies.
all these explanations from both Thor and Kronos,
Yeah, other people messaged me to ask me about donating to him. Yeah, sure. Also, I donated from my alt because it was fun. Yeah, right. So it was because it was fun. Also, we removed the VOD because people were harassing donators. Harassing donators. Not a single person harassed a donator. Get out of here. This isn't real, okay? No one's taking this shit seriously.
were still a bit suspicious,
Yeah.
they were enough to end the controversy before it got any worse. Or at least, that's likely what they thought would happen. On July 20th, 2025, someone replied to Guy's original Twitter post with yet another screenshot. This one showing the exact messages attached to the donation Kronos made with his alt account, Serendipitous Bean. It reads, in real life friend of Kronos,
And this is the alt account, by the way.
and excited that they are now free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for people here. There
It's the same guy. He's just literally sucking both of his nipples right now.
aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
This is so cringe. So Kronos got his alt account, Bean, to send a message where he glazes Pirate Software and also Kronos. Right. Yeah, this was just for fun. He was just doing messages on his alt account for fun.
In other words, Kronos pretended to be his own friends, likely to avoid any suspicions from chat. However, what made this truly weird was the fake reaction Thor had when this donation came in.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
Yeah.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
I'm sorry you had to know
Petavan
Kronos in real
45
life
with
just like me.
500
Now,
I'm sorry you have to know Kronos in real life just like me. He says literally to Kronos' alt account that he knows is his alt that's giving him money. This is terrifying.
it's possible Kronos just wanted to hide his own identity to not
bullshit.
receive hate for donating.
Absolutely not. This is so obvious bullshit. It's obviously because he's trying to inflate the hype record without making it look suspicious that one guy's donating too much.
Dating so much. However, that just explains the pretending to be his own friend part. It does not explain the shameless glazing that followed. Even if we ignore the actual message and just focus on the donation, it's still highly problematic. Not only did it manipulate the viewers into donating more by keeping the hype train alive. As Legal Mindset put it in his video, it could even bring some serious consequences for Thor, starting from Twitch itself.
So Kronos is the main moderator. And excited that they are free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for the people here. There aren't many quarter streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards. So this person is clearly painting themselves as not Kronos, not the moderator, but a separate IRL friend of this moderator, which is extremely deceptive if you ask me.
Serendipitous Beam with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate. Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
Oh, it's so awkward. I'm like actually getting like third dimensional cringe right now. I am shaking. My butthole is puckered watching him. He's giving his moderator money to use on his mod's alt account to give money back to him to artificially inflate his numbers so other people could donate while simultaneously glazing him, which this guy uses as an opportunity to insult the original moderator. Knowing that he is talking to the moderator's alternate account. Like, it's insane. It is absolutely insane watching this. It is so pathetic the moment the mask falls. And he is a pathetic, sad man.
Dude, this guy can't be real. This guy actually can't be real.
Thor has openly claimed plenty of times that he hires and actually pays all his mods.
I pay my mods. Also, he just donated to me out of the goodness of his heart. Yeah, my butt cracked.
Our moderators full-time. Not only do they have full-time pay, they're on salary, they also get full-time benefits too. Medical, dental, vision, everything.
He's just the best guy. Pirate Software is just the best dude. You might think he's not the best guy, but then you'd be wrong, because he's the best guy. All right?
Like, that's how this place stays cool.
So it wouldn't be difficult for Thor to reimburse Kronos as part of his monthly pay. Only now, it could get him suspended or even kicked off Twitch entirely. But that isn't even the worst of it. According
Twitch is going to stand on business when it comes to financial scammers, but not terrorists.
to Legal Mindset, this has also opened Thor and his mod up to facing legal repercussions from the federal government as well.
Oh shit.
Saying any representation, omission, or practice that is likely to mislead a customer. So the practice would be, hey, donating bits from the sock puppet account. The consumer's interpretation is reasonable under the circumstances. So the consumer is thinking this is a private party. This is somebody else. This is not the mod. This is not Pirate Software. They're thinking, oh, look, this person is extending the hype train. And so because of that, because that misleading representation, that materially led others to donate more to keep it going. It's a very well-known thing in scams and cons. This is something that can get fake buyers to go out there and gin up interest so that people will buy stuff even though it's overpriced.
And that is literally the classic con maneuver. Right? So if he gets a fake account to say, I'm donating money to you because I like you so much and you're such a good guy. I want to keep the lights on by you because I know you're going through a lot of really difficult things right now.
Side tangent here. Is it because allegedly Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds are having it out on the set? And that, because I would have a blast watching that, watching Ryan Reynolds and Robert Downey Jr., two of the most snarky, hilarious people in Hollywood, having it out. I don't know what it is about being married to a girl named Blake that has turned someone into kind of a ass nozzle, but damn, Ryan Reynolds.
Also, if you get the world record, it will be so literally so cool. I hope other people encourage and join me to donate as well. And if it turns out that heart, fluffy, glaze ass, I want to throw up in my own mouth kind of message, if that was sent by you or your mod to yourself with an alt to manipulate other people to give you money, that is a classic con man grift. It really is. Not as much of a con as raising tens of thousands of dollars for a video game that you never finished, but yeah.
And if that wasn't enough, Thor and Twitch could also get trouble on a state level as well, based on Thor falsely advertising the success of his hype train.
So, Consumer Legal Remedies Act, California.
You can cringe all you want at what I just said. That is spot on accurate.
It has that. And I mentioned California, by the way, because that's where Twitch is. So it'd be very reasonable if a California donor, if a California whale brought a claim against a California corporation in a California court against, Twitch and against, Mr. Pirate Software. But beyond that, there's California Business Code 17500, which leads to false or misleading statements or false or misleading advertisement. And this could be perceived as falsely advertising that you're number one on the hype train, that you're this hype train leader, that you're this person that needs to be donated to keep this thing going to breach all these levels, when really most of those levels, or maybe a lot of those levels, some of those levels, were just artificially inflated by either Pirate Software's mod or the sock puppet accounts. I mean, who knows? We don't really have a full track on that yet.
But even if he manages to escape any direct repercussions, these controversies...
Yeah, obviously his career is fucked. His career is so cooked. Dude, I just showed you the stats on his Twitch. He's streaming right now to 1,300 people. When about a month ago, he was streaming to 15,000 people. Like, people don't understand how big this downfall is.
Yeah, no,
this is a cataclysmic downfall.
Controversies have only
and completely self-induced.
accelerated his downfall, with the number of people unsubscribing from his YouTube channel each month jumping from 100,000 plus when the Stop Killing Games controversy happened to over 200,000 after these new controversies came.
Oh my God! What a dude! I love a good downfall, man. And
like, that's a lot, even if you have like 10 million subscribers. Like, that's crazy. 250,000 people.
Found herself such an entertaining villain.
To light. It truly seems like Thor's reputation has reached a point where even if he apologizes now or tries to take accountability,
first of all, he won't. He will not take accountability. It's not going to happen. Like, I am guaranteeing you, he won't take accountability. He can't. He physically can't. He physically cannot do it. He has too much ego. Holy shit. You know what this dude needs? This dude needs to find a religion immediately and start studying some tenets of faith. I don't know, bro needs to become a Buddhist monk or a priest or some shit. Like, otherwise, there is no way out of the ego hellscape that he painted for himself.
it's pretty unlikely that he'll ever regain the audience he once had. But just when we thought he couldn't sink further, he somehow found a way. As I was making this video, Theo dropped another bombshell by interviewing Mr. Jason Thor Hall's ex-roommate, as well as...
And you know what's sad? This guy right here was reacting to whatever Jesus guy. And this guy right here probably said something negative about this guy in his initial reaction. And that just caused this guy to embolden himself and go even further in on this guy. It's crazy. Watch what you say about people, because sometimes they have a lot of talent and you have a lot that you're hiding, and this person will find what the fuck you did. And
the person who was in charge of his quality assurance work at Blizzard.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Hall. I go by Alana Online. I am a lifelong artisan cosplayer. I worked for 5 years at Blizzard and then 8 years at Twitch. And I happen to work with Pirate Software at Blizzard as his wrangler on Diablo 3.
And what she had to say about Thor was shocking, but not all surprising at this point. According to Cynthia, Jason was straight up bad at his job. He would
I could have told you that.
Constantly slack off and browse Reddit all day, and even when
he's literally such a nepo hire. So his dad worked at Blizzard. All right, his dad was like a big shot at Blizzard. So he got the job at Blizzard, and he used that to launch his career, claiming to be some sort of hacker tech genius guy, video game developer pro, and that's what he used to raise money. Okay, he says, "Hi, I worked at Blizzard. I am some video game mastermind super genius. I left Blizzard because I wanted to work on an indie game that's going to be so much better than what anyone ever thought. Now, because I worked at Blizzard, you should believe me. Now give me money." And they gave him money, and nothing happened. All right,
well, and see, and that's the thing. Like, this guy is pretty much John C. Reilly's character from Step Brothers. He thinks just because his dad is good and successful at something, and because his brother went to do the I'm thinking of the wrong person. But that's Will Ferrell had the brother. But because he thought his John C. Reilly's dad from Step Brothers was good at something, that he was just naturally gonna take off with it. Not the case. Find your own talent, kid.
7 years, nothing.
Apparently, his talent is fraud with a mix of losing everything and then getting exposed for everything.
Happened. In my opinion, he's using false credentials to scam people. In my opinion. And I think that is the worst thing that's going on. And the rest of this shit was a happy accident. It was a happy accident that he happened to blow up through YouTube Shorts and be big on Twitch and start collabing with other streamers and join big events like this World of Warcraft shit. Like, in my opinion, the rest were happy accidents driving up his ego. Yeah. But his entire footprint on the internet started as a alleged ferret fucking tit sucking fraud. Jesus. I don't actually think he had sex with ferrets. I think I don't know what his preferred relationship is with his ferrets, but like we have seen the furry Discord messages.
Did work. Cynthia often had to come in and correct his mistakes.
So we're dealing with all the spawns in the game, all the boss testing, having to do all the smoke tests whenever there were new builds, end to end, make a character run through to skeleton king kill. Like, that's just testing the builds. Whatever the task was for the day.
He wasn't even a dev, he was a game tester.
Just be spawning different monsters and testing their affixes to see how they perform. But he would just kind of create a character and idle in the client and read Reddit. That's literally what he did. God. He sat in front of me and I was assigning the tasks. So not only did I see the work he was not doing, I saw what he was doing instead.
What?
So even when he was allegedly some star employee at Blizzard developing games, he wasn't. He was a game tester, and also didn't even test the games, but he would just browse Reddit all day, according to this lady.
Yeah, he was a star. He was a large, gassy object that could be seen from miles away.
First of all, when Cynthia complained about his behavior to the higher-ups, nothing happened. Simply
because his dad worked there. He's a Nepo hire. He is literally the worst guy. Like, he is the worst guy in, like, all these areas. It's crazy. Sexual degenerate. You got that crossed off. You got alleged scammer. You got fucking Nepo baby. Didn't deserve anything. Huge ego. Like, it's crazy. Everything kind of just converged into this gigantic lolcow that he became.
Because Thor's father was also quite high up in the
See, now this guy doesn't look like the type of guy that would suck his own nipples.
company. The same father, mind you, whose birthday is not even an afterthought for Thor these days.
Hey, and you missed it. You didn't call me. Neither did your brother. You guys both ignored me for my birthday.
That isn't true. I sent you a
is
text.
true. No, you did not.
Bullshit.
That was last year.
You're a liar, and
I
all
got
you got me
nothing.
with a fake.
You sent me one last year.
Did I send you one last year? My shitty son. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was last year.
It was last year. Wow.
But that's only the tip of the
Doesn't respect his elders. Bro literally violated like 9 of the 10 commandments. You shall, like, bro, what are we doing? All right, so he's a gay theist, obviously. So that's already the first 3 go out. All right, the first 3 of the 10 commandments are gone. All right, bro does not respect the Sabbath. All right, obviously. Yeah, he's been streaming all Saturday. Does not respect the Sabbath. Okay, whatever. These I think we can give him a pass for, more or less, in the modern internet zeitgeist. Does not respect his parents. Allegedly steals. All right, tells false testimony. All right. Look, man, I've seen his fucking degenerate Discord messages, and I think that squares up the rest of that shit. Except for thou shalt not kill, bro has been kind of balling. 90% success rate on violating one of the 10 commandments.
The iceberg. His memorable moments at the company also included him yelling at his co-workers for not playing like elite gamers for a charity event.
I was on his team for a league tournament, and he screamed at our team for apparently not gearing correctly.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All
right, 10 commandments. What about the 7 deadly sins? Great question. All right, so pride. Right, so pride, greed, right? Raising money for a game that he never makes. Wrath, bro yells at his fucking teammates when they lose a video game. All right, so we got wrath. Gluttony. I mean, dude. I've seen the fucking inflation porn messages he's been sending around. All right, listen, dude. He gets his fake hype train bullshit. Envy. He needs everyone to look at him like he's some sort of super genius and making believe. He used to work for the U.S. government to hack power plants and shit. All right, so that's envy. I don't even know what are we missing. What are we missing at this point? Sloth. Bro would browse Reddit all day instead of actually doing his job at Blizzard. Oh my god, wait, is that all of them? Pride, wrath, sloth, gluttony, envy, lust. All right, so he has his endless cavalcades of leaked messages with women and fucking Discord people having furry sex, right? So that's lust. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah, so yeah, all 7 deadly sins, 9 of the 10 commandments. He's easily my favorite character in the Nuxanor filler arc cinematic universe.
We were just
sucks his own nipples. Okay, that's another one.
That bad, and it's not like we were losing so severely because we all played League regularly. It was not that big of a deal, and we were all sleep deprived. It was very early in the morning after an overnight of playing games, and we're like, seriously, dude, you are raging at everybody, like our entire team. It was just yelling across the floor at everybody.
It's a charity event, correct?
It was a children's charity event.
But all of that pales in comparison to what he was like as a roommate.
That I came home and went into the kitchen. All the dishes everywhere, like the pans, still food in them on the stove, shit everywhere.
What a nightmare.
Countertops, everything.
Dude's a living nightmare.
It was not disgusting, Sty, but it was.
All right, so that's gluttony. We were struggling with gluttony with the inflation porn shit that he was talking about. Nah, dude. Living in a fucking shithole? Yeah, that'll do it.
Just a fucking mess.
Worst of all, when he eventually did leave Cynthia's apartment, what she found in his room was nothing short of disgusting.
When he finally did move out, I wish I had saved pictures of the state of his room. He had cleaned nothing, so I had to clean everything by hand. There was like, I don't know what on the walls in his bedroom. And
my God.
You're just gonna have to like...
dude had a furry cum wall? No.
...work for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else, just like...
That's disgusting. I'm gonna die.
Here and there on the walls, and more of the like random gray stuff, just spots.
Random gray spots, you say?
And things.
Now, these stories...
Oh, that's diabolical. Bro, this dude is like S-tier slob. Like, it's crazy. He is easily one of the greatest lolcows out there. Like, he is up there with Boogie faking having cancer. Like, he is literally up there.
Are from years ago. Unfortunately, from what we've seen of his game's progress, he still hasn't outgrown his slacking habits. It just makes you wonder how much more negative stuff about Thor will come out before
like,
the
how much
internet
worse can we
just
get?
moves on. Just like only
How much worse can we get, dude? That's the question. Of course, I'll link this video in the description. This was a great video by Internet Anarchist. But yeah, no, I've been on the warpath with this Thor thing. He's not very happy with me, it seems. And also, I do think that we need to talk about how the fact that he's like, his audience is 1/10 of the size right now on Twitch.
Yeah, that's crazy. Also, this crazy. Like, I don't like some of the stuff that Nerdrotic puts out, and this has nothing to do with the flags that these people are waving, but this guy used to own a comic book store. I don't know a lot about him, but I do know that. I don't know what he said to make them say this, but he's read comics. And while there are really good comics out these days, they're few and far between. There's one or two, well, probably not. There's a small handful of good writers out there as far as comics books go. But for the most part, it's all sludge. It's like Wii games. It's mostly shovelware. But this guy used to run a comic book store, and I've seen he's got some pretty good taste in comics. But he's read comic books. He just doesn't like the comics that you like. He likes the old ones that they had messages, but they were all buried in subtext, so you would learn things that you didn't know you were learning, and then you just grow up to be a decent human being. As I'm sure Nerdrotic for the most part, I'm sure is. And I'm not saying that this person's a bad person. I've never heard or seen of this person, but I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. But as far as the show goes, that's it for this morning. Sorry, that's what I was muttering to myself on the side. But I'm going to go on a quick X, Twitter, whatever, spree before finishing getting ready for work. Y'all, thanks for sticking around, the one or two of you that popped in per channel. I very much appreciate it. It's not going to be like this. I'm not just going to be responding to Nux. Then that's going to be the entirety of the morning show. I really am planning to do a little bit of a deep dive on some of the Ethan Klein stuff and a few other things that interest me. If there's anything that interests y'all that y'all want me to talk about here or do a bit of research or go down the Twitter files and all that. Not the Twitter files. That's a specific thing. But go down, see what I can find online about certain things. Shoot me a DM, preferably on X. Or if you know me in real life, throw me something that way. But I want to make this just something where I go over things that interest me or even my audience and learn about stuff. And then I'll have the more comedy-focused one here in a couple weeks when I start that on the weekends. But I appreciate y'all very much for stopping by. Just remember, if someone doesn't like you, who cares? That person isn't cool. They're just an asshole, or they're into something that you're not into. Find your group of friends, and don't worry about what people who don't like you think about you, unless you're a horrible person, in which case, reevaluate some shit. Y'all have a great one.